Hello, off the record, and welcome to Comic Stacked with Judah
And Gabe.
Today we have a light stack because I am the only one that picked up comics this week, but we do have a interesting stack for conversations because I
Yeah.
think at least two of these books we probably have opposite opinions on, and there's
Yep.
going to be a lot of discussion on that. But yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week. Yeah,
Mostly lighthearted this week. Not too
yeah,
much serious
not
stuff going
yeah.
on.
And we also appreciate the comment that suggested we check out Skinbreaker, and we might do that maybe next week, maybe the
Maybe.
week after. We'll
Yeah.
find a time
Definitely
to
soon.
get the first issue and check it out. But we really appreciate that. So, digging right on into our first comic of the week, we read Hulk Smashes Everything #2 from Marvel Comics, written by Ryan North with art from Vincenzo Terradu, and I apologize if I butchered the pronunciation of that. And we have a great cover, in my opinion, from Adam Kubert. So, Gabe, what did you think jumping right into this Hulk miniseries? What were your thoughts on Hulk Smashes Everything?
Yeah. For this issue, I think what stands out is the art. It's a lot of really big, vast pictures that capture more than just what's going on in the image. It kind of makes me think of in movies like The Lord of the Rings and similar ones where you get the big landscape shots rather than just, oh, here's the main characters doing their little thing. And I thought it was a really good artistic choice. Aside from that, not a whole lot of actual content happened in this issue.
This is true.
And surprisingly, Hulk didn't really smash a whole lot of things. It was like three things.
Yeah, well, the dinosaurs did get smashed by the
an
asteroid.
Yes, but that's not Hulk.
So did Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk also did.
This is more like Hulk got smashed, this issue.
Yes.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I really enjoyed Hulk is tougher than a dinosaur, and, he basically smashes the Cretaceous era. That's the pitch for this issue. That's fun. I enjoy that. And genuinely, this book is just a breath of fresh air after, dealing with the main Hulk book stuff in Inferno Hulk, which is like, some of it's really good, but it's very grim.
Yeah.
And this is just very fun and lighthearted and kind of some of the Hulk stuff I enjoy. Which,
and you get a little bit of dumb Hulk, which is fun.
You do. And also, the leader is just like, how can I get rid of him? And Hulk is just not getting got rid of, which I also enjoy that dynamic. And I enjoy that the leader is dressed in a Doctor Strange outfit.
Yes.
It's very fun. But I think out of 5 stars, I think for me this is a 4. Gabe, I don't know what you thought ratings-wise.
Probably 3 stars. It was a fun little book, but again, not much happened, so there's not much to rate.
Yeah, that's...
Art-wise, it was definitely a 4.5.
Yeah, it's some fantastic art from Vincenzo Carudo. Again, I butchered that pronunciation.
Yeah.
But we really applaud your art, and it's fantastic.
Yes, it was amazing.
Moving on to our next issue.
All right, our next issue is it's a DCKO tie-in, and it's the Green Lantern Galactic Slam.
It is.
Real interesting idea. You're like, Galactic Slam, what? Yeah. It comes from writer Jeremy Adams with artist Pat Boutine and Sean Tormey, I believe.
Yeah.
And, it starts off there. You've got, I think is it the Titans fighting on Earth, fighting parademons?
Yeah, I would say Young Justice.
Young
based
Justice,
off of the characters, but yeah.
Yeah, Young Justice are sitting there fighting parademons on Earth, Tournament's whole blown thing, everything's going crazy. And you've got Green Lantern, right? Our current one, in this case, Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. There's too many to keep track of.
There's so many Green Lanterns.
Yeah. He becomes like White Lantern for a minute, beats up a ton of parademons, in a little bit of a funny moment, and then gets sucked into this weird planet where there's basically a WWE match going on between Omega Bam Man and
everyone's new favorite character,
Nexus Ned, I think, or Noxus Ned.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And he's like, what?
Yeah. Everyone's like, what?
Yeah, everybody's like, what? And I mean, not as far as actual content, not a ton happened. You get, okay, he meets Omega Bam Man. Omega Bam Man tells him this fun backstory that's like, real macho man kind of thing. A little bit parody, but also just it's entertaining.
It's good fun.
And then you get through it all, and eventually you learn, Omega Man's mentor is actually helping Darkseid, and you're like, oh no, and they have to fight.
Good
and
old
you get
Bromega, I think.
Yeah, Bromega. And then you get the like coolest reveal moment in the whole thing, where you find out that this tie-in might be more important than you'd think.
Yeah.
You
could say that, I guess. I mean, I didn't really read it as that, but it can be said of this issue.
Well, because what you learn is that Bromega in this fighting league is called WAM, and what they do is they visit these worlds that are being destroyed.
Yeah.
Right, and have a big old match just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And what Bromega has done is kind of hijacked the little drive thing that lets them go through space-time to these worlds.
Yeah.
And used the WAM live stream to just block all frequencies exiting Earth while the Tournament of Apocalypse is happening. And so no other planet really knows what's happening with Apocalypse.
And it explains a lot of why we haven't had a lot of our space and cosmic characters coming to Earth to be like, hey, what's going on here? You know?
Exactly. It's like you're sitting here and we've got the Earth Green Lanterns, but there's a whole Green Lantern Corps. Why haven't they showed up? Or like the Tamaranians, or
any of the aliens.
Literally any other alien ever. Yeah, they're just not there besides your main character ones who live on Earth. And then you get to the end of it, they destroy that drive, and the feed is able to get through, and you get this little scene of, those distress signals getting to Earth. And other planets learning about Earth, and they're like, oh, dang, we should maybe go help.
Yeah, we should maybe go help. Yeah. No, it's a really well-drawn issue. Again, I don't think there's any problems with any of the... Well, I don't have any problems with any of the art in the books from this week. No. But, Pat Boutine and Cyan Tormey, great. This is fun. This is very fun. I can recognize this. But this isn't quite my cup of tea, if that makes sense. And I enjoy the explanation of, why we haven't had aliens coming down and why Warworld hasn't shown up, or the Green Lantern Corps, like Tamaran and things like that, right? But it's just it's basically just if you watched a broadcast of the WWE, you'd get the exact same thing. And that's not my cup of tea. And that can lead to people rating unfairly. I don't think it's terrible. I think the art's great. I think it's well written. But it's not it's not a 10 out of 10, nor is it like a 1 out of 10. In my opinion, this is a very middling book, which can be said for most of the things this week. But again, I like the focus on Kyle Rayner. I like some of the cameos that we get in the background. Maxima, Blackfire, and Tamaran, and then Green Lantern's on the final page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, Omega Bam Man should become an essential character to DC canon, in my opinion. But it just, I don't know. There's something about it that just wasn't my cup of tea, if that makes sense. So... yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I think it's about a 3-star out of 5 book. I mean, what do you think?
I gave it 4 stars. So it's not like a peak book, but I don't know. I liked how lighthearted it was, especially in the midst of a very serious tournament.
Yeah.
Where every issue is like, last month was Fight Month, where all the superheroes are beating each other up. Check out that video, by the way.
It's great.
We had DCKO number 3, where you had the superheroes teaming up and fighting each other out. Check out that video too. And it's like, it's just so serious. Even the tie-ins are serious. We're going to get to the Titans tie-in here in a minute. That one was also very serious.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this was kind of that breath of fresh air to be like, whew, okay. It's serious, but it's funny. It's fun. It's, it's mocking the WWE a little bit, but also being buddy-buddy in like a friendly way. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I can understand that perspective.
4 stars.
That's great. Our next issue for the week, I think we're going to have a long conversation about this one because I have thoughts, you have thoughts.
Yes.
I think we're probably in maybe slight disagreement, but we have Inglorious X-Force #1 from Marvel Comics, written by Tim Seeley with art from Michael Stahl-Marie, and a cover by R.B. Silva, which I noted because the cover is fantastic for this book. But basically, to give you a little plot synopsis before we go into our thoughts, Cable goes back in time to stop the assassination of the first mutant president. Things go wrong. He gets sent further back in the time stream, and so he must assemble a team of X-Force members to go and protect that president and make sure they have the ability to protect themselves when that time comes. That's basically the premise of this before diving into the thoughts. And we discover that this president is Kamala Khan, and they help her fend off, as far as I can tell, basically a group of anti-mutant people that treat mutants like Pokemon, ? Like Pokemon Go, basically, where they gotta collect all of the mutants. But...
Well, no, it was a stay safe from mutants app, as in like it's basically your standard mutant detector type deal.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, there's a mutant there, I'm going to avoid them.
Yeah.
So the opposite. Really.
Yeah, well, but general concept.
Yeah.
And then we get kind of the reveal at the end of the book is Cable knows that one of the people he recruited is the assassin of the president. And like that's the goal of this series is basically Cable trying to weed out who that is. And so he can prevent that assassination from happening.
Yeah.
Which... really interesting premise. I think that there are some really good strengths to this book. But before I dive into my thoughts on it, I would love to hear what Gabe's overall thoughts were. Because I think we might differ on overall thoughts.
Yeah. I thought it was resoundingly mid. Which, for a Marvel comic, isn't bad.
That's true.
Like, this is one of the better Marvel comics that I've read recently, but it's not one that I'd be sitting here being like, I want this in my collection.
Yeah.
You know, it's one that it's like, okay, I might read it once just to read it, you know?
Yeah.
The premise is a really interesting idea. You know, we're back to Cable's collecting another team of mutants. Okay, that's kind of been done before, but these mutants are different mutants.
They are.
You know, they're the ones... You've got Helverine in there, which is an interesting one. Boom Boom, Archangel, you know, kind of interesting there. The Miss Marvel being included was,
it's
I didn't expect that. Interesting choice. But it was a lot of the execution of the premise that kind of made it mid for me.
Yeah.
Like it could have, it had the bare bones to be a 5-star issue.
It did.
And the way they wrote it made it, for me, a 3-star issue.
Mm.
You know, maybe even 3 stars is probably what I'd rate it as.
Yeah.
But it was like, art was pretty good.
That was
not
good.
the best art I've seen, you know, but it was good art.
Yeah.
Was engaging at least. And it felt somewhat like a more classic X-Men X-Force comic.
It did.
Which was good to me. It was refreshing. It's like, okay, we're getting a little bit back to basics.
Yeah.
But it was still just meh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm whelmed.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think some parts I agree with. I'll start off. Things I enjoy. Because I can list these very quickly before we talk about things I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
So first off, the team is great. I love Cable. Cable's a great character. I like the idea behind Archangel, Helverine, and Boom Boom, who are a lot of characters with a lot of flash, but not a lot of substance, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I like the combination was really engaging. Like I really love the dynamic, the flirtatious dynamic between Helverine and Boom Boom. That's funny. They're the youngest characters on the team, so that kind of makes sense. It's like a classic X-Men trope. I love Archangel being very reserved, and I love Cable just like being grandpa. You know, like it's the dynamics between the characters. They're very well written. The team itself, I think, is great, right? And I have I was really enjoying this issue when it was just Cable recruiting them all the way to the point where they're flying to their mission, basically.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, this is great. Marvel's back. Like,
Yeah.
that's where my brain was at. And then the mission itself happened, and we can start to get into some of my negative thoughts on this, which is I really didn't like the whatever Mutant Watch people.
Yeah.
Just the concept. It just seems like it's trying to appeal to a young audience with like, oh, fresh new modern villains for this modern
Right.
age, and then like Kamala Khan being revealed to be the president in the future. I don't know. It just feels like
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. I wanted that to be a mystery, in my opinion. B, I just personally, I don't like Kamala Khan except for when she's on her own. So trying to integrate her with the Avengers or the X-Men or the Inhumans or the Fantastic Four, as they've done for the decade she's been around, I just don't enjoy that.
Right.
And then trying to use her and integrate her in here, it just, I don't know. Like, that's the weakest part of it for me. And I just really didn't like that mission. It really, like, it took this down from being like, I was like, this is 8 out of 10. Fantastic. Cinematic. Great. To like 6.5, maybe. Like, if I'm being generous, and I am, definitely, especially with the ending and Cable being like, one of them is the assassin. So, like, okay, maybe that's what's got me hooked, right?
Right.
And then the Domino cameo at the end. I'm like, oh,
That was kinda
that's
cool.
pretty cool, right? But, like, it went from being peak to rock bottom to I don't know where I don't know how to feel at the end of reading this issue. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's like, I want to be reading an X-Men related book at least, you know,
Mhm.
because the main X-Men stuff is you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so trying to get back into it, and it's just like, this is probably the best option, if we're being frank.
Probably.
But it goes from being so good to so terrible in like
Yeah.
3 seconds, and you're sitting there at the end going, what? You know?
Yeah.
So this is like 3.5 stars for me. I like really want this to be good.
Yeah.
But if it peaked in its first issue, then it's like, I'm debating whether or not, you know, I guess I have a couple days till the FOC dates and stuff.
Yeah.
Which by the time this video is out, it's probably going to be close to those. But I'm debating whether I should go get a second issue. Like,
Yeah.
and come back to the series. Because there's some parts that I really enjoyed, right?
Mhm.
And then there's some parts that I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Why bother?
Yeah, why bother?
Yeah,
So-
I think we share very similar views. I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars as well, and I agree. The reveal was way too soon,
Yeah.
and it's like my big thing was, you know, I've read a decent amount of X-Men comics, and I feel like we're just using the same X-Men story base.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, it's a different cool idea with how like the premise is different, but the problem is the same. It's anti-mutants are trying to kill mutants again, and I'm like,
yeah.
let's just maybe
We've been doing this for 70 years, you know?
like I know that's the basic idea of X-Men, but like, can we have a not?
Can we have a more nuanced idea behind it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like a more interesting perspective of it rather than radical anti-mutant group decides they want to fight X-Men. It's like,
yeah.
like give me some mastermind who's manipulating
That
this.
group. Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
And like whether or not they're actually anti-mutant or not, you know, I
Yeah.
don't care. Maybe they're just manipulating it.
Maybe they're a mutant, you know, like,
That would
get
be
some
interesting,
interesting ideas, right? Yeah, I think since I don't think there's a unified X-Men vision right now.
Mm.
And so a lot of that stems from like them not changing the main premise, right?
Right.
So like this book is a side book. So it's not going to probably change that main premise.
Right.
You know, but what the idea it has behind it's the book itself sole purpose, you know, like, oh, let's discover who this mutant assassin is, basically.
Right.
Is like a fresh idea in a dead ideas like it's like finding a baby in a corpse. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, this is a good idea. And then it's like, oh, we peed on it because, we're like, oh, yeah, we got to include this garbage, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really just, I don't know. It's disappointing, but there's so many elements in it that you're like, oh, this could be great.
Yeah.
If they expand on this or they lean into that, or like, we could explore so many different ideas around mutants and dealing with like the Helverine lore and the future lore and the corporate like stuff with Archangel.
Right.
Right? There's so many things that could be so great about it.
The issue is we all kind of know Marvel doesn't do that.
Marvel doesn't do greatness, let's just say that. Yeah. So, with that being said, we're probably a little over halfway through this video. If you haven't already, like the video, scroll down, make sure you're subscribed. We know we have about 133 monthly listeners that are not subscribed, so if that's you, please double check that. Hit the notification bell. Leave a comment down below with your polls. We really appreciate suggestions, and we're definitely going to check out the one again, like we said at the top of the video. And yeah. With that being said, we're going to dig into our penultimate comic of the week.
Yes, we've got the Titans number 31. It's another DCKO tie-in issue from writer John Layman and artist Pete Woods.
Yeah.
Judah, what's your thoughts on this comic?
I was telling Gabe this. I really liked this issue until the title card. I was like, we got Donna Troy's perspective, and we get in like this little summary of Titans lore. This is great. I love that. And it's like set up, the Titans are split up, and it's just her and Arsenal fighting back these hordes of parademons and Grail, and you're like, this is gonna be cool. And then the rest of the issue happens, and we get things like, we have Terra return, ? What? You know what I mean? Like, what if we're gonna do that? I feel like that should be a big event, And maybe I'm not up to date on the Titans. Maybe she returned a while ago, and then this is just like her little re-return. But it's like, it's crazy to bring a character like that from a major Teen Titans story back to life, A, and B, in the midst of an event tie-in.
Yeah.
And then, like, I love the concept of Gym World, and I love, like, magic characters get their power and stuff, enhanced in Gym World and stuff like that. Okay, what's going on with my boy Nightwing? Like, why is he getting his butt handed to him so badly by Jinx? Like, he has countermeasures and stuff. Like, I understand they're more powerful in Gem World, but what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then, like, fake out on Arsenal dying. Weird Grail stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just meh. You know what I mean? It's just like, it happened. It was, again, first until the title card, I was like, pretty good. It's pretty good. And then the rest happened.
Yeah.
And it's not that John Layman's a bad writer, right? Like, he wrote the Cyborg Swamp Thing one, and I think genuinely that's probably the best issue I've read of this Titans run so far, right? But it's just like, it's not very good.
No.
What do you think, Gabe?
I thought it was resoundingly, like, it was kind of below mid, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not even mid, it was below. Yeah, I will say the best part of the issue is probably up until the title card. I was sitting there and it was a lot of just exposition, which was meh, but needed to remind you what's actually happening. Yeah. And you get the interesting Donna Troy perspective, and you're like, okay, this could be good. This could be like a 3.5, 4-star issue. Like one I'd be willing to pick up again, a solid issue. And then you start reading, and it's just like, the moment that you flip the page from the title card, it's like all of the characters lose their humanness. Yeah. Like, that's the big thing that stuck out to me. It wasn't even the specific poor choices in the writing. It was just like the characters didn't feel like characters. Even Donna Troy didn't feel human fully anymore. It's like when you're watching a TV show or a movie and the actors are just acting so badly you can tell that they know this isn't real. Yeah. That's the vibe that this comic gave. Oh, yeah. Which I didn't expect to see out of a comic. Yeah. I expect to see that out of a cheesy, like, teen show, but not a comic book.
Yeah.
Like that's how. I don't understand how you can write characters like that.
It's very special skill.
Anyway, so I'm reading through, and they made some interesting choices. I was like, okay, Gem World. I haven't seen a whole lot of this. This is cool. Nightwing's getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Meh. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But
Yeah.
And their solution is Terra just crushes the person with a rock. And I'm like, sorry if that's a spoiler.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm like, what?
Nightwing couldn't defeat Jinx with all of her juiced up magic ability from Gemworld, and instead Terra just uses rock. Like, that's...
Rock beats magic? Like, what?
What?
Rock beats magic? What?
Like, it's not even a magic rock. It's just a rock. Like,
she just dropped a rock on her. Like, and then she's like, and the reign of Terra begins. And then you flip the page and we're not there anymore. And it's like, you're not...
What are we doing?
You're not giving me any more than that? You're just saying... and you're just trapping Nightwing and Raven in rocks? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Whatever.
I mean...
And then you get the weird dynamic between Grail and Donna Troy, where Grail is like, I'm going to make you like me, and we're all sitting here like, literally, that won't happen.
That's not going to happen.
Like, that's... No.
Well, I mean, it is kind of ruined a little bit, because this is in canon. This is set before Earth becomes Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
We already know Earth's becoming Apocalypse.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think any of these characters are going to survive. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of the weight of the stakes of things. You're like, well, actually, this already happened.
Right.
So that to the book's credit, it's playing before that. But still, it sucks. So,
Boo.
Yeah, 2.5 stars.
2.5 stars.
Yeah,
yep.
we are in...
Unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous. Sole agreement about this. All right. Every week we do a classic issue. This week, I think we have the best classic issue we've done so far, and maybe one of the greatest comic issues of all time. If not, metrics say this is one of the best sold comic issues of all time. We have Superman number 75, The Death of Superman. This is from DC Comics, and writer and artist Dan Jurgens, who is a legend at this point in time. And Gabe, I think this is your first time reading this?
Yes.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on The Death of Superman?
I mean, overall, one old issue, right? This is not a modern issue, so it's written differently. You've got different art style, different writing styles. What I really appreciate about this, because we picked up a facsimile edition, is they actually printed it on a similar paper to how they did the old issues, so it kind of made it more immersive.
Yeah.
But what I will say, the art was really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good art. Engaging story. I'm sure there's been lead up to this moment in this comic that I'm missing. That would make a lot more sense. This one's basically just a big, long final battle scene.
Yes.
And it's a pretty good final battle scene, It's not epic like we think of in modern comics, but it's epic in stakes, in weight, which is what I want to see from a Superman comic. I don't want to just see, laser beam epic from Superman and supersonic punch type. Like, no, Superman's down on the streets in the nitty gritty fighting Doomsday.
Yeah.
And trying to save people, and the cute little romantic scene with Lois Lane was really nice too. I thought overall it was a really, really good comic.
Yeah.
Which, most people I think agree.
Yeah, this is pretty unanimous in agreement. The art just, it popped. Like, you're right. No particular page is like a jaw-dropping moment. It's just like every single page is, you're just like, good. Like, you just flip the page and you're like, this page is also good. Like, it doesn't seem to be, well, there's no filler in this one. And Superman being driven to, in canon, this is the first time he kills someone. Not the last time, but the first time he kills someone. Mm-hmm. And it's Doomsday, and it's protecting Metropolis. And you have, I think, the real beautiful kicker is when they realize Superman's not giving up, right?
Right.
And just that fold-out page
that was awesome.
Lois crying. It's like, oh, man. Like, this is iconic. Yeah, this is a issue you need to have in your collection. Even if you're not a real big Superman guy, this is iconic. This is classic. Jurgens' art is great. I think he's actually doing a book today called Batman Second Night, which we might have to check out.
Yeah.
But this is just fantastic. I don't have any further words to describe it. You should go pick it up for yourself. I think, since they reprinted it in facsimile form, you can go pick it up in your local comic store. I think this is probably our only highly recommend of the week, I would say. I don't particularly want to subject you to the terrible or mid of this week. But with that being said, we'll move on to the final segment of the show before we bid you adieu, which is looking forward to next week and what we're going to be talking about next week, which I think is quite a lot. So, let us see. We are going to be talking about the week of January 28th for pulled issues.
Go ahead and give your pull list first.
Absolute Batman number 16. Absolute Wonder Woman number 16. DCKO, The Kids Are All Fight Special number 1. The Flash number 29. Infernal Hulk number 3, which is going to be an interesting one because it kind of will make or break whether I stay on this book. Iron Man number 1, which I am optimistically, but also very aware that could be very bad, excited for. Justice League Unlimited number 15, and Superman number 34.
All right. I don't have quite so many books as Judah does. I also have quite a bit less money than Judah has.
This is true.
Which makes sense.
It's okay.
So I pulled Absolute Batman number 16 with actually the cover B, the Michael Cho variant. I like that one.
That's dope.
Absolute Flash number 11, Absolute Wonder Woman number 16, and Iron Man number 1. So I'm really excited for next week's pulls. Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman are kind of traditional, really given ones. I'm excited for Zatanna showing up in the Absolute Wonder Woman. That's going to be fun. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to read it. I'm excited. Absolute Flash, I read up through number 10 and was interested, and I really want to see where they're going with it.
Yeah.
Because right now, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Wally West is trapped in like some Flash world or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? So that's going to be a fun one to read. And then obviously, like Judah said, Iron Man, written by a great writer.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed Joshua Williamson's work. Outside of Night Fight, we've really enjoyed everything he's written.
Yeah, and I mean, Night Fight wasn't
terrible.
So I'm just hoping that Iron Man isn't another Night Fight, and it's like everything else he's done.
It's like his Superman, his Flash, his work on DCKO.
Right.
That's
what I want to see. If it is, we might have a Marvel book that's going to be regularly on this show.
Yes. I mean, even if it's his bad work, it might still be regularly be on the show, because that would excel as a Marvel comic. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I don't want to be reading something just to read something.
Yeah, that's very good. All right. With that being said, we really appreciate y'all for listening. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Your thoughts on what we talked about, the issues we talked about this week, any polls for next week, any indie recommendations. We are going to check out Skinbreaker, right?
Skinbreaker, yep.
Yeah,
which it's an ongoing mini, so
we'll see. Yeah,
we're going to
have to see about that. But with that being said, good morning, good evening, and good night. This is Off the Record. We're signing off. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.